Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about vocal layering. Vocal layering is a very useful tool when it comes to making your vocals sound thicker and more present in the mix. There are many different ways you can vocal layer. You could do harmonies where you sing an octave above or below the main vocal track, or you could do a whisper track or just a talking track, and you can layer those in. Today I'm actually going to do a whisper track and a talk track with two main vocal tracks layered. So to start off, I have my main vocal track 1 and my main vocal track 2. So main vocal track 1 and main vocal track 2 are both panned to the center. Panning is very important when it comes to layering. If you look here, I have my whisper track that's panned about 40% to the left and my talk track 40% to the right. The reason I didn't do 100% to the left and 100% to the right is because when you're listening with headphones, you're only going to hear the whisper track in the left headphone and the talk track in the right headphone if you do a full 100% pan to the left and the right. So I did 40%, so you mostly hear it in your left headphone, but you'll also hear the whisper track in the right headphone as well. That's why it's always important to check your mix on different playback devices to ensure that it sounds just the way you want it. Okay, this is a finished result of what my mix sounds like.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now. Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
And here it is with just the vocal tracks.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
And if I take off the reverb,
heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now. Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
All right. So, vocal track 1, as I said, pan to the center. For EQ, it is boosted around 3K for presence in the vocal. If you go into vocal track 2, the EQ is cut about 3 decibel at 3K2, the same area. This just lets the vocals sit a little more comfortably on each other and not interfere with each other as much. Although it doesn't really matter as much in this mix because what I did was have my second vocal track sent to the reverb effect. I actually have a reverb and a delay on top of each other, a long reverb, and then I have a delay behind that. Reverb and delay help thicken up the vocals as well. So if you're listening just to the vocal track, this is what it sounds like.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
Then I put in the second vocal track. Remember, these are both panned right to the center.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now. Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
I will point out that these are different recordings. You don't want to just take one recording and duplicate it because all that does is make the sound louder because they're the exact same clone copy of each other. You want to have different vocal tracks to add more dynamics to the mix and more harmonics. That helps thicken up the sound. It's like a step-by-step process to thicken up the sound. Now, the first track, I didn't add any reverb to. The reason I did this is because I want it to sit out right in your face in the mix. So it's going to be the top layer. It's going to be right there, right up close to your face. The second track, I added a long reverb. For EQ, I cut anything below around 500 hertz just so it doesn't muddy up the mix because you don't really need these frequencies for reverb or any other time-based effects. But this is what it sounds like with the reverb layer added.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
As you can hear, it's already sounding thicker. If you want to hear it with just the reverb track.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
As you can see, it doesn't sound as close to the listener, so it sounds further away, which I didn't want, so that's why I layered them.
heart thumping, blood pumping.
Now for the whisper track, I'm going to play that on its own.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now. Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
It sounds ridiculous on its own, but in the context of the mix, it sounds great. The talk track, let's play that on its own.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now. Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
Now, even though I did say it was just a talk track, you can I'm kind of singing it a little bit just to get the, to match the actual notes so it blends in a little bit better, but it is essentially a talk track. I'll layer just those.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
Again, sounds absolutely ridiculous on its own, but when you put it with the other tracks and the reverb.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.
It sounds really good. See how thick that sounds? There's many different ways you can do vocal layering, so it's not all just cut and dry one single way. Just play around, find out what you like, refer to other tutorials that'll give you tips on different things you can do. So, but really, essentially, it comes down to what you want and what sounds good to you. Let's play this again in the context of the mix.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now. Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now. Ooh.
One more thing I want to talk about is compression. I did add compression to the first two vocal tracks. I actually use the same compression usually. Well, I shouldn't say usually. Sometimes I don't add any compression to the second vocal track if I layer them right on top of each other, but this one is doused in reverb, so it added the effect I wanted, so that's what I ended up doing. The whisper track and the talk track I didn't add any compression to or any other effects because there's just more of a complementary track and I didn't really want it to stick out. You can obviously still hear it, so it ended up layering exactly how I wanted it. That's why I said you have to play around. It's not always cut and dry. You don't do the same thing to every single mix that you do. Now the song is Victim. That's a song by me. If you want to check that out, it's right on my page. It actually is my closing song at the end of every tutorial I do. And I'll leave a link at the end of the video as well. Thank you for checking this out. Have a great day.
Heart thumping, blood pumping, sweat running, I'm a victim of your love now.